time, Treta Yuga is three times the duration of Treta Yuga is three times the time of the duration of Kali Yuga. And we are only about 5,000 years into Kali Yuga, which is actually a very short time in the grand scheme of timeline, of eternal timeline that we have. And even though the Ramayana is a history or epic or itihasa that we learn about that happened such a long time ago, the teachings of Ramayana are very much essential even today, and they are very relevant in today's time also. Because when Lord Ram appeared, he appeared as Maryada Purushottam. He came to show us how should we behave as humans, how should we have relationships with our, anybody who is a parent, anybody who is a brother, anybody who is a sister, anybody who is a daughter. They can all learn from Ramayana because that is the personification of how an ideal family should be like. We would talk a little bit about Ramayana for, I think the younger children maybe, I think even the younger children here are all, I think, well versed with Ramayana. I think there will be very less people who may not necessarily know all the parts of Ramayana. So you can all think about, various relationships that we learn, we see in Ramayana. How is the relationship of Bharat Maharaj with Lord Ram? How is the relationship of an ideal brother of Lakshman in service of Lord Ram? We can see how an ideal wife should be, like Mother Sita. We should see how an ideal husband should be, who crossed the ocean and waged a war for his wife. We can see how an ideal son should be for a mother. Lord Ram didn't even so he was, when Lord Ram heard that Kekai is sending him for Vanvas, he was smiling at that time because he was happy to see Mother Kekai. And that smile also did not fade. He was still smiling when Mother Kekai told Lord Ram that you are going to have to go for this exile. The only thing Lord Ram mentioned to Mother Kekai was, Mother, you didn't have to use your two boons for this. You could have just told me, I would have happily gone. And that was just heartfelt. It was not something that Lord Ram is just saying. It was very heartfelt because Lord Ram, he is not attached to the kingdom. He was not attached to being the prince or the king. It was a service that was being given to him. And that is how we need to take our position in this day and age when we act as a son, as a father, as a mother, as a brother, as a husband or a wife. We learn from Ramayana. So it is definitely very, very much relevant today in this day and age when we learn about the story of Ramayana. When we hear Harikatha, the story of Ramayana, somebody can say, that's actually one verse which just summarizes the whole story of Ramayana. But the more we hear about Lord Ram, the more we actually associate with anything in this life, we take from it. When we associate with something, we tend to get those thoughts, those moods. We imbibe from others. We imbibe from the association, and that is why we talk about it's important to have association of satsanga. You all are here today in a satsang, in an association of devotees, in an association hearing about Lord Ram, coming to chant the names of Lord Ram. We had wonderful kirtan. You all were participating in some wonderful kirtan. So we have come together for a very, very high purpose to speak, to chant the names of Lord Ram. Chanting the names of Lord Ram is the most beneficial thing we can do for ourselves or others in this world. There's a story that comes about the name of Lord Ram, and I'll actually start with the glories of the name Lord Ram. with that story. So one time, I think some of you know this story, right? About Janak Maharaj and when he was going to where? Anyone? Yes, go ahead. Which you can tell the story. Go ahead. Okay, I'll say. So one time Janak Maharaj was going along with Yamraj. So he was touring. Janak Maharaj is a Mahajan, and he was going around with Yamraj, and he heard really very terrible sounds of people crying, people in desperate pain, really very, very sad sounds, somebody writhing in pain, somebody in the worst kind of pain. You can hear the kind of sounds they would make. He was hearing those sounds, and thousands and millions of such sounds were coming. And Janak Maharaj said he was a devotee, he's a Mahajan. So devotees are very compassionate. And he was very hurt by hearing the misery of these souls. He's like, what Yamraj, what is happening? Where are we? What kind of place is this? And why are all these people, I hear people suffering. What is happening? And Yamraj said that we are passing through the region of the hell. That's why you can hear all those souls which are suffering in hell. They are um, getting the reactions of the karmas that they have done in their past lives. So they are in hell and they are suffering, and this is their due punishment, and they deserve this punishment. So for Yavraj, he's like a judge. He's very straightforward, cut and dry. You did this, you get this, right? But Janak Maharaj, being a very pure soul and a devotee, very compassionate for souls, he said, I am very much hurt listening to this. Can I do something for them? Can I do anything for them? Imran said, actually, you can. All you need to do is you can give the benefit that one gets from chanting one true, pure name of Lord Ram. You have chanted so many times the name of Lord Ram in your life. You are such a pure soul. You have from your heart chanted the name of Lord Ram. If you give the benefit of even one time chanting the name of Lord Ram to them, the benefit you give this benefit, that I give this benefit to them, that one gets from chanting the name of Lord Ram, then, and he will be, this will help them. And just as Yamraj said this, Janak Maharaj, being a very compassionate devotee, he said, yes, yes, I give. And the moment he said or even thought this, all the sounds stopped. Quiet, dead silence. Like, what happened? What happened? And Yamraj said, actually, they got the benefit of your one time chanting the true name of Lord Ram. And they all are now purified from their sins. So that is the benefit of chanting the name of Lord Ram. So let's chant one time the name of Lord Ram as we begin his katha. Jai Shri Ram! Once more, Jai Shri Ram! Louder. Jai Shri Ram! Jai Shri Ram. So we'll chant some prayers. You want to lead these prayers? Go ahead. Pitara, we can chant together. Swami Ramo Vatsaka Ramachandra Sarvaswam me Ramachandra Dayalu Nanyam Jane Naiva Jane Na Jane Dakshine Lakshmano Yasya Vame Chatu Janak Majam Purato Muritirasya Tam Vande Raghunandam Bhiramam Dhiram Rajivanetram Raghuvanshanatham Karunyarupam Karunakantam श्रीरामचन्द्रं शरणं प्रपद्ये। दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम्. The remover of distress, the granter of all prosperity, that Lord of the universe, Sri Ram, I salute thee, or I pray to thee again and again. So this is the Ramayana. This is the one shloka that kind of summarizes the whole Ramayana. This is called as Ek Shloki Ramayana. Ado Ram Tapovanadigamanam Hattvamrigam Kanchanam Vaideharanam Jatayumaranam Sugriva Sambhashanam Bali Nigrahanam Samudrataranam Lankapuरी दाहनम् पश्चात् रावण कुंकरन् हननम् ऐतं विधि रामायणम्. So as you all know that this talks about Adau Ram Tapovan Gamanam. Lord Ram went to the forest. Hatva Mrigan Kanchanam. He killed the deer, the golden colored deer. Vedahi Harna. So Vedahi is name of Mother Sita. So she was taken away. Jatayu Maranam. Jatayu, we know the past name of Jatayu. So Griva Sambhashna. Then after that, Kishkinda Khan, Lord Ram goes, meets Sugriv and Hanuman. Bali Nigrahanam Samudra Taranam. So Bali goes and then there is the Samudra Taranam. There is the crossing of the ocean. They make the big bridge. They figure out where Mother Sita is. Lanka Puri Dahanam. So Hanumanji goes and puts fire onto Lanka. Paschat Ram Kumkarana Hananam. Hananam means being killed. So after that, there was a big fight, the Yuddhakan, and the Ravan and Kumkaran. They get killed in the war, and Aiti Vedi Ramayana. So this is the Ek Shloki Ramayana. Okay, next. so, we will go a little bit into the appearance of Ramayana, about how I think we all know about Ramayana. So let's start with the starting of Ramayana. How did the Ramayana come into being? So Rama means, what is the meaning of Ram? Reservoir of all pleasures, Anand, right? Bliss. So Ram. So some people say Ramayana is the story of Lord Ram. But if you ask Lord Ram, it is the Ramayana, which means it is the story of Mother Sita. So it's either it can be, in Sanskrit, it can be Ram plus Ayan, the story or the story of Lord Ram, or it can be Ramayana, which is story of Mother Sita. So one time what happened was Valmiki Rishi was praying to Narad Muni. So he prayed to Narad Muni. Narad Muni is the guru of Valmiki. We know the backstory of Valmiki Muni. Valmiki Rishi is a very, very exalted soul. But before that, before he became a devotee of Lord Ram, his past story is of Ratnakar. Right? When he was a hunter and a dacoit. He was killing people, he was killing animals, and was living a very sinful life. And in that life, he was thinking that I'm doing this all for my family, right? But one time, Narad Muni came, and Narad Muni asked him, that why are you committing all these sins? He said, this is all I know how to do. Right? This is, I know how to steal, I know how to kill these animals, and that's how I feed my family. So Narad Muni asked him one question, very important question. So you say that you're doing this for your family. Do you think your family members are going to partake in the share of your karma that you are getting from this? And he said, yeah, why not? I'm doing this for them. I said, well, time for a reality check. Why don't you go and ask them? So he went and asked his family members, and they said, no, 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 no. We are not a part of this. You know, you are doing your karma. We are not part of, we are not killing it. I did not kill anyone. I did not, I'm not a decoy. So this is not my karma. I am not going to partake in this. So that was an eye opener for him. So he went back to his guru, Narad Muni, and asked him that what should I do now? My whole basis of life has been shaken. Sometimes we have these life shakes, and he had one of those life shakes. And once we have those, that is the time to find a guru. That is a time to take instructions from a proper guru and get in the Sharan of Lord. So he did the right thing. He had a very wonderful guru, Narad Muni, and he went to him and bowed to his feet and said, what should I do now? And he said, Lord Narad Muni said, you should chant the names of Lord Ram. However, he was so sinful, he had done so many sins that actually he was not able to chant the name of Lord Ram. Sometimes, if we are too full of sins, it is difficult to even chant the names of the Lord sincerely. So the heart has to be fertile for the growth of Bhakti Lata Bij, for us to be able to chant. So he was not able to chant, but he believed in the word of his guru. He had full faith in his guru. And his guru said, okay, if you're not able to chant the name of Ram, you chant Mara. So he started chanting, because Mara means to die, to kill, right? So he was used to saying, this person died, this animal died, that rabbit I killed, this one I killed, ye mara, wo mara, ye mara. So he kept saying, okay, I can do that. That is something I'm used to. Right? For a sinful person, it's easy to say mara, 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 ram, 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 ram. So it became from mara, 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 ram, 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 ram. So eventually he started chanting the name of the Lord, ram, ram, ram. So the author of Ramayana is Valmiki ji, about whom we are talking. And out of all the sages of that time, there were a couple of reasons that he was chosen to speak this Ramayana. One was this, that throughout the rest of his life after that, he kept chanting the names of Lord Ram. So he had that love for Lord Ram already. And secondly, a very important thing, that Yog Maya, Mother Sita was actually living in his ashram. So he was not, Mother Sita was not living elsewhere. She was actually living in Valmiki ji's ashram. So these are the qualifications. Many other qualifications. He's a very, very exalted soul. But these are the reasons that there were many other exalted souls why he was chosen to speak the Ramayana. And how he came to that was actually after this discussion with Narad Muni. Now he was praying. Now many years later, he's again praying to his guru Narad Muni, and Narad Muni appears, and he asks him a very important question. He says, in this day and age, and this is talking about Treta Yuga, at that time, that day and age, says, who is the most perfect person, exemplary person, a true gentleman that should be followed? And Narad Muni actually went into a trance because he was thinking about the glories of what he is going to say now, next. So he thought about Lord Ram. And Narad Muni explained about the qualities of such a person. And he said, this is a very important question we have asked. And the reason is because just like Arjuna was asking in Bhagavad Gita for the benefit of whole mankind, just like the sages of Naimisharanya were asking the question to Sud Goswami for the benefit of whole mankind, what is the best thing? This question you have asked now about who is the most perfect human being to follow, it is beneficial for the whole mankind for all times to come. And he then explained very briefly about the life of Lord Ram and qualities of Lord Ram. And after that, he went. Now, Valmiki ji was now in complete bliss. Just heard about Lord Ram. He's complete bliss. He's thinking about Lord Ram, and he goes with his disciples, Bharadwaj Muni and other disciples. He goes to a river, and he sees that there were two chatak birds which were there, and they were very in love. They were looking at each other very lovingly, and and he was in a lot of bliss. He just heard Ram Katha, such a beautiful atmosphere, by the side of the river. It's nice, and nice breeze is blowing, beautiful trees are there. He's enjoying the nature, he's thinking about Lord Ram. And suddenly an arrow comes and kills the male bird. We see that in that picture. Now, Valmiki ji, being a very compassionate soul, he was looking at these birds, and suddenly one of them has died, and it's fluttering before dying. He has a lot of compassion for that. He's wondering what happened. This is such a peaceful, serene atmosphere. These birds were loving each other, and now one is just dead, and the other one is crying for her loved one. So he, in his compassion, spontaneously, a curse came from his mouth, and he cursed the hunter to suffer endlessly. Whoever has killed this bird. It was just a spontaneous curse, but then he felt bad, because he's a devotee, and devotees should not get angry, such as senior sage. But something wonderful happened when he said that curse. That curse, the meter in which he said that curse was very beautiful. So he started chanting, saying that curse again and again. Just like there's a nice song that rings in our mind, that we hear the song in the morning and we keep singing the tune. Oh, that tune is good, very catchy. So he's like that, he's like, oh, this tune is very catchy. It was a curse. And so he's not meditating on what the curse was now. He's feeling a little bad about it, if anything. But he's just repeating the tune and the meter in which he had said that curse. And, he's going about his day, like goes back to his ashram. Now, Bhardwaj is saying, what has happened to my guru? He's usually such a, calm person. And now he's having all these emotions like up and down. He's suddenly gets very angry, says this curse, and now he's mesmerized by the tune of it and just singing that tune. So that's not usual behavior of Valmiki Muni. So, and then he's, sad that why did he curse? So he's going through all these things. And then suddenly over there, Lord Brahma appears. And Lord Brahma says that you should not feel bad about cursing that hunter. It was by providence that this happened. It was meant to happen. But the meter, the reason it is so catchy for you is because that there is something you need to do with this. In the same meter, Now you write about the glories of Lord Ram. You write about the whole Ramayana. So Lord Brahma, who is the Adi Guru, who is the Guru of even Narad Muni, is now coming and instructing Valmiki ji to write the Ramayana in the same meter that he has just now figured out. So like this, there is the advent of Ramayana. There are 700 verses in Bhagavad Gita. There are about 10,000 verses in Srimad Bhagavatam. There are 24,000 verses in Ramayana. It is, one of the two itihasas in our scriptures, Ramayana, and then the other one is Mahabharata. So we just covered those 24,000 verses in one verse. But we will quickly go through the life of Lord Ram, focus a little bit on his earlier of his appearance. So the appearance of Lord Ram, and that is, we are here for Ram Navami. It's wonderful. Appearance of Lord is always wonderful. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, you can all recite, whoever know, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tattvata tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mantiti. So Arjuna, that whoever knows the wonders of my appearance, he would not take birth again. Right? So appearance of the Lord is very wonderful. So in this instance, we go to Ayodhya, where Ayodhya is a kingdom which is unparalleled at that time in the world. It has all the opulence you can think about. Everyone is completely satisfied, completely happy. No one is in poverty, no one is in distress. Everyone, there is no effect of old age. There's no. Everyone is very satisfied in Ayodhya. Ayodhya means which is does not have any. Nobody can fight against them. They had such wonderful military strength. The boundaries of Ayodhya were, nobody could see the boundaries. That was so vast. The construction was beautiful. It was made of all opulence. It is described how their walls and the streets were made of gemstones in Ayodhya. And in such a place, the ruler of such a wonderful place is Dashrath Maharaj. And Dashrath Maharaj is a perfect ruler because he was very much loving and concerned about the well-being of each and every citizen of, of his kingdom. And that is why everybody in the kingdom loved him very much. Everyone was very satisfied in the kingdom actually, except Dashrath Maharaj. And the reason being because he was again taking this position as a position of servitude. It was his service to act as the king. And his service, he felt he is failing because he did not have a son. So it was part of his service to provide the next generation for the kingdom to grow and keep on going. So that is the reason he was not satisfied. So to fill up this dissatisfaction, to overcome this dissatisfaction, he did the right thing. That is, he went to his guru. He went to Vashish Muni and asked him what should be done. And one of the things they decided on, let's do a Rajasuya Yagya. Ashwamedha Yagya, sorry. Ashwamedha Yagya. So they did a Ashwamedha Yagya, which was very difficult. You need a lot of pious credits to do a Ashwamedh Yagya. And after the Ashwamedh Yagya, they came, they decided a very special person needs to do a Putra Kamishti Yagya for getting the son for Dashrath, Lord Maharaj Dashrath. And that's also a really wonderful story about who needs to do that particular yagya and how. Let's just, I think, I will just focus on the appearance of Lord Ram because of we have limited time, and so we won't cover the Ramayana. Ramayana, the whole we covered already. I'll focus on the appearance of Lord Ram. So, for this yagya to be successful, there needed to be a person performing the yagya who has never, for the first like up to like first multiple years of life, has never seen a female face, has never seen a female. That was the requirement of the person who could do this particular yagya for Dashrath Maharaj to get a son. Now that was a problem because everybody has seen either their mother or some lady or somebody when they are young, taking care of them. But there was one person at that time who was eligible for this task. His name was Rishi Shringa. So this particular Rishi, the reason he hadn't seen the face of a female at birth or after birth is because his father was a very great saint who lived in the forest, Vipandak Muni. And Vipandak Muni was, he whoever needs to so Vipandak Muni was a very great saint. And one time, in his austerities, as usual, Lord Indra got jealous that this is such an austere saint, and he is going to take my position. So Lord Indra is, in our scriptures, that's what we see it multiple times, that he gets a little, he gets worried about his position, that if somebody is doing a lot of austerities, then they will take because Indra is a position, just like being a president, prime minister is a position, just like being Indra is a position. So it can be taken. So if somebody does certain amount of austerities, they can become Lord Indra. So the Indra at that time got scared that my position will be taken because this Vipandak Muni, he does so much austerities. He is not, he is such a strong power, yogic power, that he will take my position. So he got scared. He sent Apsaras, his usual tactic is he said Apsaras, because Kam is a very big sanskar that we have, one of the most difficult sanskaras to get over. And Indra utilizes our weaknesses in that sense, that he used to utilize this weakness. He came close to even breaking the vows of many saints. Vishwamitra also got enticed one time and then later got angry. So just like that, there are multiple such instances. So finally, he called a Apsara. Actually, from Indralok, Apsaras tried, they could not win him over, but he called a special order or request to Brahmaji and got a further higher level Apsara from Brahmalok, and then she was able to, by her austerity, she acted in a way that Vipandak Rishi was happy by her austerities, by the way she was acting, and he gave her a boon that you ask whatever you want, and she said that actually I want you as my husband, or so he was, all this was not important for him, and he actually was very disgusted by her at that time. And in his anger, he threw away his, virya at her and said, "This is what you want, take it and go." So he was very angry. And she got scared that she will get cursed and not something further. And she was like, "This is such powerful virya, what to do with this?" She gave it to a nearby deer and went away. And that deer immediately had a child. And that deer, that female deer, ran away because she was like, this particular child does not look like me. He's look like half human, has got some horns. So looks a weird thing, not my child. So the deer ran away. So this little child was crying in the forest, and this child was Shringa, Rishi Shringa. And Vipandak Rishi was hearing this sound in the forest, and from his, transcendental vision, he was able to see that this is actually my son. So what he did was he raised him and decided not to let him meet anybody, meet anyone, any problems of the world, and just stay in the forest with him. And he hadn't seen any female, thus that's why he was eligible for doing this particular vrata that we are talking about. And then it happened that he was later on lured away to Romapad Maharaj's kingdom, because Romapad Maharaj at that time was, his kingdom was in a famine. There was no rains over there for many years, and somebody told Romapad Maharaj that only if somebody with this qualification comes to your kingdom, you'll have rains. And like that, then there's a whole story how he got lured over there, and he ended up marrying the daughter of Romapad Maharaj, who was actually given by his friend Dashrath Maharaj. So this is actually Dashrath Maharaj's daughter, who was then given to his friend, who's Romapad Maharaj, and that daughter now got married to this Rishi Shringa. So when Maharaj Dashrath wanted to do this particular yagna, he was advised by Vashish Muni that this Rishi Shringa is the one who can do this particular yagya successfully for you. And he was called, and he did the, presided over the Ashwamedh yagya also, and then the Putra Kamishti yagya. And by his purity and his yagya, the Yagya Purush appeared in the fire. And then that Yagya Purush was very, effulgent, dark colored, very effulgent, tall, had a big pot in his hand. And that pot was then, given to Maharaj Dashrath, and that had kheer in it, sweet rice. And then that sweet rice was told that you give this to your wives, the three primary wives of Dashrath, and they will be born with children. So half of that, Mother Kaushalya took, and she immediately could feel some superpower inside her. And that was when there was going to be advent of Lord Ram. Brahmaji had appeared. There were a lot of demigods which had come. Now, a parallel story is going on. When there's a great, appearance of Lord, there are many reasons that Lord appears, but one of the reasons is to kill the demons. Paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya cha dushkrita dharma sanstapanaarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So parallel to all this going on in Ayodhya and Dashrath Maharaj, parallel to this on the other side is Ravana, who is a ferocious demon. And there's a big description about how he appeared, from conjunction of basically he had on one side he had the demons blood in him, and other side there was a little Brahmanical blood in him. There was also a conspiracy of how that happened. But eventually, when Ravana appeared, there were these ferocious demons which had appeared: Ravana, Kumbhakaran, Shupnakha. And all the demigods were very scared of Ravana. They were living in constant fear of Ravana. Ravana had already won over Indralok. So he had won over Lord Indra, he had won over Varun, the sun god. All the demigods were working for him. It is described how, he was mistreating all of them. He used to, his throne, he used to, walk over all the planets. There were the Navagraha and the planets that are there. So he used to just walk over them to get to his throne. Like a step. Yeah. So he was mistreating them very badly. It's described, like, uh, so they were very, very in a bad position, all the demigods, and they did what they usually do when they're in a difficult situation. They pray to Lord Brahma, and then Lord Brahma prays to Lord uh, Vishnu, and then, the god decides to appear. So like this, there was it was already during this yajna, it was foretold that the Lord is going to appear like this, and he's going to take care of this Ravana later on. It was foretold. It was Ravana had many curses upon him, and but he had one boon he had taken up, that he had done a lot of austerities, and he had, all these three brothers and sister, they had all received great boons after doing a lot of austerities. Just like we hear about Hiranyakashipu, he had wanted to be immortal, but Lord Brahma told him that, I cannot give you what I don't have. Lord Brahma is mortal. So he had tried to trick, Lord Brahma, and asked for a boon, just like, a lot of us saw the Narasimha movie recently, so we know about the curses and the boons these demons try to outsmart the Lord. Right? But he is the cunningness, he is the most cunning person, right? In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that I'm the biggest cheat of the cheaters. So you cannot cheat Krishna or the Lord. So he asked for all the boons, but he did ask for that I cannot. So he asked for I cannot be killed by Gandharvas, animals, this, that, or many boons. Except he did not mention a couple of people. He did not mention humans and monkeys. So when this was happening, then when Lord Brahma had gone to the Lord and said, this is the problem. These demigods are having so much problems. So the Lord had said, don't worry, I've already decided there is a Putra Kamishti Yajna going on in Dashrath's house, and I'm going to appear there. And the demigods should expand themselves and appear as as monkeys, as very powerful monkeys. So like this, Indra had come as Bali, right? Indra is Bali. And and many other such Vayuputra Hanuman is there, expanded as that. And so many demigods expanded these wonderful monkeys. They were not regular monkeys that we see. They were huge, very smart monkeys. And Lord Brahma actually didn't say that only you go. He actually came himself as Jambant. That's the expansion of Lord Brahma, who was the advisor of all this army, the whole army. So all these were going in parallel, that the story of Ravana is going on. He's getting all these powers, all these he's subdued all these demigods. They are living in fear, and they go to the Lord, and then the Lord decides to come appear as Lord Ram here in Dashrath's Maharaj Dashrath's house in Ayodhya. So thus, with that magical kheer, sweet rice, Kaushalya, Mother Kaushalya, after a year, then she gives birth to Lord Ram. Kekai and Sumitra give birth to, Kekai gives birth to Bharat Maharaj. And then Sumitra, mother, gives birth to Shatrughan and Lakshman. So So like this, we see the wonderful appearance of the Lord um, happens that way. So everyone was very, very happy in Ayodhya. Lord, Dashrath Maharaj was very happy. He gave lots and lots of, almost the whole treasury he gave away in gifts at that time. And then later we know, I will fast forward now to just 5 minutes. But after that, we know how this is Lord Ram Lalla in Ayodhya that got installed a few years back. And then, Vishwamitra Muni comes and requests Dashrath Maharaj for taking his son away. And that time, Dashrath Maharaj, his heart is torn because he doesn't want to give away his son. And he's worried about his son. Dashrath Maharaj was ready to go with all his army because he heard the reason Vishwamitra Muni was asking for his son was because there were these great generals of Ravana who were causing problems. Marich, Subhahu, and these were not just regular people; these were really, really bad demons. And Dashrath Maharaj was thinking, even if I go with my army, I will get killed, but I will still go. But don't take this teenager, my kid, my Lord Ram. He's everything for Dashrath. But then Vishwamitra Muni asked, and Vashish Muni said that this is not what you have. What you're thinking of just your child is a little more than that. So don't worry. And Vishwamitra Muni has a lot of powers. They will actually gain by going under his tutelage. So Dashrath Maharaj finally sends Lord Ram with him. And we know about then how Marich and Subahu get killed. Marich gets thrown away 800 or so yojan away, 800 miles away. And then Subahu is killed, the whole army is killed. They're able to finish the yajna that Vishwamitra Muni wanted to perform. And then they move towards Mithila. And then the beautiful pastime happens where Lord Shiva's bow is there. Nobody is able to pick it. And Lord Ram, this young teenager, is able to just take up the bow, string it up, and actually it gets broken in the process. Lord Shiva's bow. Parshuramji comes very angry that why is the bow broken of his Ishdev? And then he realizes that actually this is no one but the Supreme Lord. And then um, that also is taken care of. After this, so we talked about mostly the Balkand that happens in Ayodhya, and then the Ayodhya Kand is when they go back and Dashrath Maharaj decides to coronate Lord Ram as the king. That's when Kekai asked for the two boons that she had got from Dashrath Maharaj, and she asks for two boons. That one is to exile Lord Ram for 14 years, and then the second is to coronate Bharat as the king. There are many reasons described why Kekai did that. One of them is, of course, that the passing of the Lord had to happen. She had to go away from it. Everything was so happy, so wonderful in Ayodhya, that how would he go and have a fight with Ravana, or one of the you know uh, reasons. That is the purpose he had come for. Many other reasons are described. Mother Kekai had a lot of love for Lord Ram, more than even for Bharat, but she took this position of getting criticized for all times to come as the mother of Lord Ram, who banished his son. So, despite that, Lord Ram actually, as we were discussing earlier, he was not perturbed. He took this as an opportunity to serve the saints during the Vanvas. In Ramayana, we learn about lots of relationships, as I was saying. He meets Guha, he meets the Kevat, he meets Shabri, so Jatayu. So these wonderful, wonderful relations are described in Ramayana. And each relationship is instructional. Each relationship teaches us a lot about what is the highest standard that one can follow. How a son should be for the word of his father. How a father should be. Darshan Maharaj could not live after that. He loved his son so much. We should not take vows. It is described like this that we may regret later. So we should not just say that I will give anything because what if somebody asks anything? So we should be careful. Uh, but all these are God's pastimes and leelas and happen in a certain way. The Aranya Kand talks about all these wonderful activities. Bharat Milap comes there. How ideal brother should be. How Bharat comes and he does not want this kingdom. The name Bharat itself means one who bears the load, the bhar in Hindi. So he bears the load of having everybody criticize him for all times to come. All the Ayodhya even his father always thought before, when the Maharaj Dasharatha died, he actually told that Bharat should not be able to touch to do my last rites. So Bharat had to take that load on him rest of his life. His own father died thinking that he was the reason why Ram was exiled when he had nothing to do with it. Bharat Maharaj was very angry at his mother that how did she even think that he will be happy without Lord Ram or with him being the king instead of Lord Ram. And he takes the whole he wants from his inner heart of heart, he wants Lord Ram to come back and take the throne. He wants nothing to do with the throne. He only wanted to serve Lord Ram. So we see how in Chitrakoot he meets with Lord Ram and then takes his, asks him to just put his feet in a pair of slippers so that he can take them back, and that he rules on the behalf of those slippers rest of the 14 years waiting for Lord Ram to come. He made a vow that if Lord Ram, he requests Lord Ram, if actually after 14 years you don't come in time, then I will take Agni. I will die. So that's why it is described how after the whole fight, Lord Ram was in a hurry to come back. So he had to come back in a hurry with on the Pushpak Viman because he knew even after 14 years, he had the confidence that Lord Ram, that Bharat would actually be waiting and actually he may, get do something. He had sent Hanuman to just be sure one time, but there was nothing changing Bharat's mood, no change. So we see how an ideal servant should be, how Hanuman behaves. We see how a loving master should be by how Lord Ram behaves, how a friend should be, how he behaves with Sugriva, takes care of him. And then is the Sundarkand, um, when Lord Hanuman shows various qualities. There's the magnificent jump over the ocean. He gets so many obstacles on his path, but he is undeterred in his service to Lord Ram. And finally, we see how Vibhishan comes to Lord Ram to take his shelter. And I think I'll end with this one of what Lord Ram says to Vibhishan when he comes. So think about the scene. Now we are at the banks of the ocean. The war is going to happen between Lord Ram and his army, and on the other side, Ravana and his army of demons. And a huge demoniac entity flies in towards the camp of Lord Ram just before the war, right? Just the war is about to happen. Ravana knows that there is a army gathering to get Mother Sita back of this Ram and his followers. Ram knows that Ravan knows that I'm going to have this war. And this huge entity is flying, the demoniac personality is flying towards the camp of Lord Ram and says, I've come here to take shelter of Lord Ram. Now, all the followers of Lord Ram, they are excellent in warfare. They know the tactics of war. So Sugriv is a king of Kishkinda, very powerful himself. He and his followers, they suggested that we should kill this demon. He has come here to get the war secrets. He's come to our side to try to figure out what our strengths are, weaknesses are, figure out all the tactics and plan. And we should not let this demon go. We should kill him right here, right now. Lord Ram, as a perfect leader, does not rush into a decision. He asks his council. The whole Sabha sits down. He asks the council of everyone as to what should be done. This is the situation. And Hanuman at that time vouches for Vibhishan that when I had gone to Lanka, I know this person. He was the only one who was true to Lord Ram at that time. He is the one who spoke in the whole assembly for against Ravana that he should return Mother Sita. So Hanuman vouches for him. And after that, after listening to everyone, Lord Ram gives his opinion and decision. And he says, Sakrit, and whoever knows can say this shloka, famous shloka from Ramayana. I don't think I have it on the screen. Sakrideva prapanno yas tavasmiti chayachate abhayam sarvada tasmi dadami etad vratam mama. Sakrit eva I'll say, you can repeat. I don't think I have it on the screen. Sorry. Or maybe I can pull it up. Okay. Sakrideva prapanno yas tavasmiti chayachate abhayam sarvada tasmai dadami etad vratam mama. So I'll say the translation and it is my vow that if one only once seriously surrenders unto me, saying, My dear Lord, I am yours, and prays to me for courage, I shall immediately award courage to that person, and he will always remain safe from that time on. Sakrit eva prapanna yas. Sakrit, with complete surrender. Eva prapanna yas. Tava smiti chayachate, says, I am yours. Tava smiti, I am yours. Tava smiti chayachate. Abhyam sarvada tasmai. So, such a person will live without fear. Abhyam sada, always, forever. Tasmai. Dadami etad vratam mama. So Lord Ram is saying, this is my promise, vow, that anyone who comes and says that I am yours and surrenders to me, I will give him shelter. So the people sitting there are actually astounding and say, okay, what if Ravana comes tomorrow? So you are saying, Lord Ram, you are saying that if this Vibhishan is, you're welcoming him and saying that you will make him coronate the king of Lanka. So actually the coronation happens, at the same place, he coordinates that, after this war, I'm going to have Vibhishan as the king of Lanka. And all he has done, he has come, he's a demon, he's a brother of this, your enemy. And he has come and you are saying that you'll make him the king just because he has come and saying, I surrender to you. So what if Ravana comes tomorrow and say that I surrender to you? What will you do then? You have already given Lanka. Lord Ram says, I will give him Ayodhya. So even if Ravana, the Lord Ram says that at that time, even if Ravana comes right now and surrenders, returns Mother Sita and surrenders, because I've taken this vow that whoever comes and says, I'm yours, and with true heart and surrenders to me, he will become Abhaya forever. So even if Ravana comes today and takes my Sharan, takes my shelter, I will actually, because I've given Lanka already to Vibhishan, I will give Ayodhya to Ravana. So okay, but that will be, what will Bharat do then? Because Maharaj Bharat is ruling Ayodhya right now, so you are going to displace Bharat? Said, no, no, no. Yes, but I'll give something higher. What? Vaikuntha. So Bharat will stay in Vaikuntha. Say, but you live in Vaikuntha, then where will you go? Said, I live in the hearts of my devotees. Jai Shri Ram. Lord Ram, I'm yours. 3 times. Lord Ram, I'm yours. Lord Ram, I'm yours. Lord Ram, I'm yours. Jai Shri Ram. Thank you everyone for listening. Now playing Harikatha. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namah. Hare Krishna. Shri Ram. So we'll do a little aarti now. Any questions? Oh yeah, any questions? Lord Brahma was who in the Ram Leela he incarnated as Jamban. Jamban. So Jamban is Lord Brahma is all made up of mind and knowledge. So he is the advisor for the army of the monkeys. So significance of breaking Lord Shiva's vow. Lord Shiva is Vaishnava Nam Yatha Shambhu, right? He's a big devotee. Both of them are meditating on each other. Why break that vow? So there is some significance. So what I've heard is about Ahankar, that it signifies Ahankar. So when Lord is there, it's false ego. Ahankar is false ego. Yes, thank you. So that bow is a representation of Ahankar or false ego. A lot of people at that ceremony tried to lift that bow, but were not able to. And this was the requirement that Janak Maharaj had set up for the Swayamvar of Sita. And Mother Sita was very beautiful, and everybody wanted to get Mother Sita, but they were all they were full of false ego. So as long as there is false ego, it's very difficult. It is not possible to get spiritual bliss, which is the energy of the Lord. Bhakti. So yes, thank you for sharing that. So that way is when Lord Ram broke that bow, he broke the Ahankar, and that's why he was able to get Mother Sita. Only Lord Shiva or the Lord himself could lift that bow actually. Ravana tried to move it a little bit. He got his fingers under it. And then, Lord Shiva he just pressed his toe a little bit on it. And then he started crying in pain. Ravana actually means crying in pain. Okay. Any other questions? Yes, Mataji. Is there a mic for Mataji? It doesn't go? Oh, it's from there. Yeah. Yeah, try that. Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So first of all,
Thank you so
No,
much.
that one, not that one. Use that.
Hare Krishna.
Not working.
Even yeah.
First mic was good. The one you can repeat one.
Yes, I'll repeat what you said.
So many thanks first of all for such a beautiful katha. It was very engaging, and we were able to like understand each and every. So the characteristics and like how you said that we get to learn all the ideal, like how to be ideal husband, how to be ideal wife. There is one character like Vibhishan who caught my attention. He was ideally pretty. Even though he was staying in Lanka, surrounded by all the Rakshas and all the bad people, demons, but he still was able to chant Lord Ram's name. And I can relate in today's situation that how we are kind of in a situation, we still have, like, we should get inspiration that we still can chant Lord Ram's name. So I just wanted to share that reflection.
Hare Krishna. So Mataji is sharing the reflection that how Vibhishan was in a situation when he was in Lanka, and it was a very difficult situation because he was surrounded by demons, and he still was able to chant the names of Lord Ram. And she is mentioning that we should take inspiration and we should still chant even though we are in Kali Yuga and we are surrounded by Maya. We should continue chanting the names of the Lord. Yes, thank you, Mataji. Very astute reflection. It's described how. Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
So you described how Dashrath Maharaj left his body. You remember that you have to ask questions in a katha and you get points. So I'm trying to get my points. So Dashrath Maharaj left his body in separation from Lord Ram. But in today's, day and age, I mean, so according to Bhagavad Gita, we understand that's attachment on bodily platform, right? Being attached to your children or your family members. Um, so how do we understand this grief of Dashrath Maharaj in leaving his body? Because he still had responsibilities after he. You would think he should have maintained himself and his kingdom once Lord Ram was gone. We are supposed to maintain ourselves even if we lose our loved one. We are not supposed to give up our body. How do we understand this grief of this intense mood of Dashrath Maharaj?
Yes. So Ramayana, remember how we talked about how what is the origin of Ramayana today? It was out of compassion. It is a story of compassion. So Dashrath Maharaj is in a situation where he's showing that without the Lord, without Lord in our life, we should be as good as dead. Which means for Dashrath Maharaj, the Lord was physically present over there, and the departure of Lord Ram from his life is equivalent to departure of bhakti from our life. So our spiritual life is as good as dead if we are without the bhakti. Without the Lord, our spiritual life is as good as dead. So it is not talking about necessarily the physical body in this sense. In case of Dashrath Maharaj, his whole purpose was gone when Lord Ram went. He was in Ramayana, as we said, that there are a lot of relationships being described, and it is a very sweet relationship. He felt very guilty because he had made that vow that led to this whole departure of Lord Ram, and he felt guilty not just as a father but also as a king because he had kind of failed in his duty. However, on the side of Lord Ram still maintained his duty in the sense that Lord Bharat, when Bharat Maharaj was being coronated the king, he had no worries at all because Bharat Maharaj was an astute politician. He was very good in managing the affairs of the kingdom. Lord Ram was sure that the kingdom of Ayodhya will continue to be prosperous and would be every citizen will be taken care of by Bharat Maharaj. So he had no doubts in the capabilities of Bharat Maharaj in maintaining the kingdom. So the kingdom was still in secure hands and safe. A contrast can be seen from Mahabharat, where we can say that, in this case, we see a brother who is left and did not fight for the kingdom, right? Whereas we see Yudhishthir Maharaj and the whole pretext of Mahabharata, he actually comes and fights and kills so many people. So how do we compare that? But in that case, remember, it was not somebody like Bharat Maharaj who was going to be ruling the kingdom. It was Duryodhan who was going to be ruling the kingdom. Duryodhan was complete opposite. He was selfish. He had no qualities of being a king. He had already done so many wrong things for the people over there. He had set examples of how women are disgraced under his rule. So, such a person who is against, who epitomizes a dharma, should not be allowed to rule. Whereas Bharat Maharaj was perfect ruler and he would support dharma for sure.
Yeah, so just to churn it out more, so you're saying the relationship is not on material level, it's not a bodily relationship that he's crying for. It is a spiritual attachment because the Lord is gone from his life. So whenever our Krishna consciousness is gone, or if we lose devotees in our life, or if we lose Guru in our life, if we lose bhakti in our life, that is something to cry over. It reminds me of the songs, the great Vaishnav songs, when they're crying because they leave, because they miss the association of great devotees or like, I was trying to remember that song. Pashani kuti kumo matha, pashi behari,
Jayanila Prema Gana.
that song. So he says, it seems very depressing. Why such a great advanced pure soul saying that I would hit my head against the rock and I'm Kandiya, keep crying. They're crying not for the things of this world. They're crying for something beyond this world. So it's not the same as us crying over loss of a loved one, because we are crying just because we have some bodily attachment. That person was giving us mental support, emotional support, just sort of on bodily level, our mind, intelligence, ego, senses were being supported by them. They are crying because the transcendental level, they lost something very, very precious, very, very valuable.
Yes. So, yes, the bottom line for Ramayana is compassion, and that's the compassion of devotees that we don't want to leave our bhakti and our anybody for that matter. A devotee sees everyone as a soul. That's why the newer people ask, why do you call Prabhuji and Mataji? I'm younger to you. Why are you calling me Mataji? So those are all things that we we're talking to the soul. We are giving respect to each and every person as a soul, and Paramatma inside them also. But we'll move on to the next program, which is the Aarti, and after that we'll have Prashad. Hare Krishna.
So that's the holy, right?
Holy and Prashad, yes. Hare.
That is the time for the last second.
I can start.